dust, He has ransomed me. His grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin.
Hello brothers and sisters, Cédrick-N from Frankfurt. Tonight's prophetic word is in Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and verse 3. The Bible says, if clouds are full of water, they pour rain on the earth. If clouds are full of water, they pour rain on the earth. And I would like us to read a second verse in Matthew chapter 7 verse 7. The Bible says, ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you will find, and knock, it shall be open to you. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 is teaching us a very deep spiritual principle, which if we understand, we will know how to unlock certain things in our life and also ends a lot of frustrations which we have, especially when it comes to the subject of prayer. It's there talked about the process of rain formation, but only maybe part of it when it says if clouds are full of water, then they pour rain. When we see rain coming down, some of us would say rain is just coming from the cloud. The reality is a bit more complex. It's a whole cycle. There has to be water on the ground which evaporates from the clouds. When the clouds are big enough and when they condensate, then you have rain coming down. We understand then that rain is not something that is essentially coming from above, but it's something that came from the earth before it comes down again. And that is the same as a lot of the stuff that we see from God. The miracles or God's interventions in our life is often a response of something that is coming from the earth. And that is why God is pushing us or even encouraging us to pray, because a lot of the stuff that is coming from above is being triggered from the earth. Prayer is not only something we should do in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes. Should we even put a timer on it? Prayer is something that has to be done until we see the heaven responding. But oftentimes when we go and we think of faith in prayer, we think of the prayer Jesus did in front of the tomb of Lazarus. Lazarus come out, and then we say if we have faith, prayer has to be short. No. Faith sometimes means that your prayer will be a long prayer. Faith sometimes means that your prayer will be a prayer done in days. Jesus has spent 40 days in the desert praying. He was spending whole nights praying. He was doing that over and over again. Because faith doesn't mean your prayer will be short. Faith means that you pray until you see drops of rain coming down from the heavens. Think about Elisha, who is praying for the rain to come down again, and he has to send his servant 7 times to observe the clouds. It's only on the 7th times that he see a cloud, a small one, and then he knew God was answering. The guy who could say something, one thing, and something happened, that time had to pray 7 times. God knows how many times each time he has prayed until rain came down. In Luke chapter 18, and the Bible says explicitly that he said those parables to teach us that we should pray and never cease or never faint. In Matthew verse 7, the Bible says, ask, seek, and knock. There's a difference between asking and seeking, a difference between seeking and knocking. There's a difference. And there are prayers and prayers. And sometimes the difference between not seeing what we are looking for and seeing that's the click, that's trigger, is us praying long enough with faith, with perseverance, for nights, for hours, until we see something happen. The time of prayer is not 10 minutes, said my Father in the Lord. The prayer time is not 10 minutes, not 20 minutes. It's not an hour. It's the answer you are waiting for. As long as you don't have the answer, you should continue praying. It's only when the clouds are full that rain comes down. Only when the clouds are full. Your prayer or your aim in prayer should be to see the clouds full. You should pray until you see the clouds full. And the way you know the clouds are full is when rain comes down. I want to encourage you tonight. Pray until you see something happen. Don't faint. Pray and ask the same question over and over. It's also faith to come to God and say, I need it now. It's also faith to come to God and say, I want to see something happening in my family. I want deliverance for my friends. Pray until you see that happen. Pray until the clouds are full. Your brother Cédrick-N from Frankfurt. God bless you.